What's up, guys? And I want to say welcome. That's right, welcome to my WWE Wrestlemania 28 pay-per-view review. And overall, wow, what a mania! I mean, just there were some surprising moments. I sat there going, "What?" I'll get to that later, of course. But this WrestleMania overall, I thought was better than last year's. I know that's not saying much. People say, "Oh," because a lot of people trashed last year's WrestleMania. So people say, "Well, that was the worst WrestleMania ever." I want to go far by saying that. I mean, there were some pretty bad WrestleManias, but this WrestleMania this year, that was okay. That was good. Not too many complaints. I mean, there were some things I sat there going, "Why?" type of deal, but other things I sat there going, "Wow, this was good. WWE did a good job by doing this certain thing." So let's not waste any time. Let's kick this off, shall we? Our first match of the night was again like last year, the World Heavyweight Championship match, and I know a lot of people complaining, saying, "Oh, why was the World Heavyweight Championship the very first match?" I kind of saw it coming, and I can understand why. I mean, think about it. It seems like, okay, you win at WrestleMania, and now it's like, okay, not even at WrestleMania, you win at the Royal Rumble, Royal match, and instead of people say, "Oh, you go in the main event at WrestleMania," yeah, it's technically the very first match at WrestleMania, so it's kind of like, what? I think that's what happens when you don't have the Money in the Bank match, because usually the Money in the Bank match usually starts off WrestleMania. Now you don't have the Money in the Bank match. You got the now you have the World Heavyweight Title match. Even though you should have could have put like a Kane versus Randy Orton or some other match there. But anywho, yes, we did have the World Title match between Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. Excuse me. And this match was short. When I mean short, I mean, well, according to Michael Cole, it was 18 seconds. Yes. After the bell rang, Daniel Bryan gave a little kiss to AJ. And then Sheamus hit him with the brogue kick, and then he pinned him, and the match was over. I kid you not. That was the match. Yeah, so Sheamus is your World Heavyweight Champion, so congratulations to Sheamus. Hopefully Sheamus will be a good World Champion. Do I wish the match was longer? Hell yeah, I do, because honestly, these guys could have put on a really good show. I thought they could have, not a good show, but a good match. These two could have put a good match. I know it's WWE. They don't trust Daniel Bryan and Sheamus on WrestleMania. I mean, think about it. Remember last year they were what 5 minutes long in a dark match, and Taylor was like, "Oh, let's make it a battle royal, player." And then now it's like, okay, these guys get 18 seconds. This is for the World Heavyweight Championship. One of your most prestigious titles, and you have it 18 seconds. The Divas matches aren't even that freaking short. Whee. But anyway, so yeah, I know a lot of people upset that Daniel Bryan's no longer the champion, but hey, he had it since what, December, so he's kind of had a normal run, so whatnot. So anyway, then after that we had Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus. We had Randy Orton. That's right, Randall Keith Orton. Believe it or not, was his birthday today, I believe. Yeah, April Fool's Day. Yeah. So yeah, Randy Orton versus Kane, and this match actually got a little bit more time than I thought it would, honestly. But it was a decent match. It was okay. Not too much. Kane choke slams Randy Orton. Randy Orton kicks out, and here we're thinking, "Yep, Randy Orton's gonna win." And next thing you know, Orton kept on selling that his leg was getting hurt and his leg was banged up and everything, and then Kane choke slams him off the top rope, pins him 1, 2, 3, and that's where it shocked me. I think about it. I honestly never thought that freaking Randall Keith Orton would let Kane go over him at WrestleMania. Not only at WrestleMania, on his birthday. On his birthday. This is Randall Keith Orton. Talk about the Viper. Randy Orton losing at WrestleMania to Kane. I was pretty shocked. I don't know about you, but hey, Kane gets a WrestleMania win. How many times we've said that? Kane getting a WrestleMania win. Not many times, but yeah. So yeah, after that we also had the Intercontinental title match between Cody Rhodes and the Big Show. Now, I know some people were kind of upset with the result of this match, and honestly, the match was pretty good. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, the Big Show should retire," blah blah blah. Honestly, I think the Big Show still has it. Yes, he's been wrestling for what seems like forever now. For decades, and he's just, he put on a good match with Cody. I thought, and I know they did a little video package before of Big Show losing, and he had a 3-8 record or whatever at WrestleMania. Now 4-8. That's right. Big Show did beat Cody Rhodes after hitting him with the what was it? Yeah, it was a knockout punch, right? Knockout punch or chokeslam? It was a knockout punch. The weapons of weapon of mass destruction. But it's a good because this is a positive thing for Big Show. First of all, it gives Big Show something to do. It gives him a WrestleMania moment, guys. Think about it. Big Show's never had really a WrestleMania moment. He's a guy that's like let celebrities go over him basically, and it gives something for Cody to do. Like, okay, Cody had a nice long run as IC champion. Now maybe you can have him against Sheamus for the World Heavyweight Championship on SmackDown. So you can do possibly that. You just do now more things with Cody other than just, okay, face Big Show for the IC title. So then, after that match, what did we have? Oh, by the way, we also had some backstage segments. Almost forgot about that. We had one with Santino Marella, the guy from Deadliest Catch, and Mick Foley. And, it's kind of funny, little comedy segment, basically, Mick Foley taking out Sacco, Santino taking out the Cobra or whatever. It was kind of funny. And then you also had Heath Slater bumping into Flow Rider, and then, he pushes Heath Slater because Heath Slater's like, oh man, I could do something. I could be a backup dancer. I could be, a singer or whatever. And, it's kind of weird, but yeah. So then we have Kelly and Maria Menounos. Yes, Menounos, for people who've been calling her Mentos and every other name possible. Versus Beth Phoenix and Eve. That's right, the big booty bitch. The crowd was dead. I'm sorry, the crowd. You can tell the crowd didn't care. I mean, they chanted. I think I heard a "We Want Ryder" and then I heard a Daniel Bryan chant. The crowd just didn't care. They didn't care about this match, and and this match was what, like 6 minutes long. It was actually a good amount of time, especially for the Divas. But, I didn't really necessarily care all that much for the Divas match. I'm sorry, but, I know Maria Menounos, she tried, and she had 2 broken ribs and whatnot and everything. I understand that. But, man, she rolls up Beth Phoenix. She rolls up the Divas champion. If she rolls up Eve Torres, I can understand that. She rolled up Beth Phoenix and beat her. But hey, I expected her out of all people to get the pin, Maria Menounos, because you know what? She's a celebrity. Again, when was the last time a celebrity lost at WrestleMania? So, yeah. So then after that, we have the good old end of an era, Hell in a Cell match. Undertaker versus God, Triple H, with Shawn Michaels as special guest referee. And oh my God, this match was good. This match, I don't want to say this match, I don't want to go crazy and say, oh, it was a 5-star classic, but it was a very good match. I don't know which was better, last year's match or this year's, I really don't. Obviously, to me, this was the best Hell in a Cell match in years. And I know WWE's kind of, how do I say this, overplayed Hell in a Cell because of the pay-per-view, the last few years. But this was a great match. I mean, you had everything in this match. You had, and yes, guys, Undertaker is like bald. We get it. Alright, he has a little bit of hair, I understand that, but, just who cares if he has no hair or not? Who cares? Jeez. But this was a good match. Of course, you had Triple H, using the sledgehammer. You had steel chair being used both on Triple H, and also on Undertaker. You had steel ring steps. You had the cell used a few times. Never got on top of the cell and whatnot, but they didn't need to. It was a good match, and Shawn Michaels told a story in this match. Because he respects the Undertaker. Because the Undertaker ended his career. He tried twice to end the streak. He couldn't do it. And of course, he's best friends with Triple H. So, he kind of had mixed feelings going into the match, and you could see it during the match. He got emotional. And, there were times that HBK kept on telling, Triple H and Undertaker, do you give up? Do you give up? And they both said no. None of them would give up. And it was just a good match. It told a good story, and it was a good match. Triple H pedigree, I think Undertaker like twice. Taker kicked out. Taker hit the last ride. Triple H kicked out. Then Undertaker pushed the freaking Hell's Gate on Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is passed out. Then you get Charles Robinson, the referee, or the other referee. He comes in the ring. Taker gets pissed off at him. Taker chokes him. And then you have freaking, Taker putting the Hell's Gate on Triple H. Triple H tags out, but there's no referee, so the match still continues, right? But the match was just good. I mean, you had at one point Shawn Michaels getting back up, hitting the sweet chin music to Taker, and then Triple H using the pedigree on Taker. Taker still kicks out, and then you just have freaking basically Taker beating the living hell out of Triple H. He got up, beating the living hell out of Triple H with a steel chair. Shawn's just sitting there like, oh man, I can't watch this. And then he hits the Tombstone Piledriver, and then 1, 2, 3, 20-0. Your winner, The Undertaker. And again, the match was just incredible. It was a good match. Oh, I can't wait. Honestly, usually I get WrestleMania as just like a collector's item. I can't wait to see that match. Just rewatch it because that match was enjoyable and fun to watch. It was good. I know some people are gonna say again. I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's 5-star classic." I'm not gonna say that, but it was just a good match and I enjoyed it. But it's just me, guys. So take it as you can. So after that good match there, you had the Hall of Fame, inductees, which I believe the Hall of Fame is gonna be on tomorrow before Raw. You had they showed Yokozuna's kids. They showed who else they showed? Oh yeah, Ron Simmons. Damn. Yeah, he was also in one of the segments backstage. You had who else did you have? Shit, who else you had? Then you had the other Hall of Famers, and then you also had the one and only Edge. And I know people are like, oh, Edge has a haircut. Edge has a haircut again with the hair. Why do people upset with the hair? Like seriously. People bitch, oh, Edge's hair looks gay. Oh, Taker's bald. Like, who cares about the hair? They obviously like their hair if they changed it. Like, seriously. But, it was cool to see, guys like Edge, Ron Simmons and guys like that there. So it was pretty cool to see that. And then you have, after that, you have the Team Teddy versus Team Johnny match. And for Team Johnny, you had the guys come out, and then you had Brie Bella introduce them. And then you had Team Teddy's team come out. You had Nikki Bella introducing them, and I believe on Nikki and not Nikki, Team Teddy's team, you had Eve Torres. That's right, the big booty bitch. I'll get to that later. Being Zack Ryder's corner, and then of course you had like Vicky and John Laurinaitis's, and then you had Oksana and Team Teddy's. Yeah, you get the point. So the match happens, and I know at first I thought, okay, this is like what, a 12-man tag match. This might be a clusterfuck. And, believe it or not, it really wasn't all that much of a clusterfuck. Like, yeah, you had that one moment, you had one moment that was like, okay, everybody and their mothers is going after each other. But, it was a good match. It was alright. You showed the mid-card, and most of these guys in this match were young guys, unless you were like Mark Henry or Booker T. But, again, it showed the young talents. So it was a good match. Zack Ryder looks like he's about to hit Zack Ryder's about to hit, like, the broski kick. And then Eve Torres gets on top of big booty bitch. She gets on top of the ring apron. She's like all happy and everything. And Zack Ryder's like, what the hell? Like, he's all confused. Miz gets up. It's a skull crusher finale. And that's right. The Miz gets the win at WrestleMania. The guy that was getting buried for like months, was in the doghouse. Pins Zack Ryder and wins it. So Team John Laurinaitis wins. John Laurinaitis now has control of both Raw and SmackDown. So, I thought it was, again, a good match. Then after the match is over, you have Eve Torres giving Zack Ryder a low blow, kicking him in the gonads. So yeah, I think it's safe to say Eve and Zack are finally done. Just end this. I mean, I know you're trying to make her look like stuck up. She can do whatever she wants type of deal, but it's just like, ugh. So yeah, that was that match. And then you got Best in the World versus Best in the World of what he does. Chris Jericho challenging CM Punk for the WWE Championship. Now, before this match happened, John Laurinaitis, after the Team Johnny, Team Tay match, John Laurinaitis bumped into Punk saying, you look like you want to beat somebody up, you look like you're pissed off, so guess what? If you get yourself disqualified, you go too aggressive, whatever, you will be disqualified, and if you become disqualified, you will lose the WWE Championship to Chris Jericho. So, that was the stipulation. So Chris Jericho versus CM Punk, and I know people are saying, oh, this match was slow, it was slow, whatnot, But you know what? It was good technical wrestling, you guys. It was good. And there was that point parts I was cracking up at Jericho because Jericho was saying, "Hey," because he was trying to persuade, Punk to, snap. He's like, "Oh, Punk, how's your dad doing? Punk, how's your sister doing?" And then he had like this sick, evil, like for all you Batman fans, he had like this like Joker type smile while saying it. It was just like hilarious watching, but again, the match was good. It was entertaining. A few good spots here and there. There were times that Punk hit the Anaconda Vice. Jericho got out of it. Then Punk hit the GTS. Jericho got out of it. Jericho hits the Code Breaker. Punk gets out of it and hits the walls of Jericho twice. I believe he hit him 2 or 3 times that he's hit the walls of Jericho on Punk, and Punk still got out of it. And then finally, Punk got him in the Anaconda Vice, thus making Chris Jericho tap out, and Punk wins and retains the blue title, which I kind of saw coming because, let's face it, Jericho plans on doing the Fozzy tour and whatnot, and I know some people would want to see Jericho become WWE champion, but let's face it, if he was champion, he'd probably lose it the very next, few weeks later at Extreme Rules in Chicago, Illinois, Punk's hometown. So, and plus Jericho did kind of the veteran type of deal, let the young guy over, Punk go over and whatnot. So, it was a good match. I'm satisfied for it. And then now, the main event, the once in a lifetime match, the dream match, as I would say. John Cena vs. Rock. By the way, if you guys care, there was also a dark match between the tag titles match. Yeah, the Usos versus Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel versus Epico and Primo. Epico and Primo won. I didn't see the match, so I'm not going to say how it was. I seriously didn't see it, but I missed it. But now, anyway, back to the Cena versus Rock match. This was interesting because first you have P. Diddy come out there, right? P. Diddy. Oh yeah, by the way, you have Brodus Clay dancing with his mama. Yeah. Okay, so then you have P. Diddy coming out there, right? Coming out there like, oh yeah, here's Machine Gun Kelly and whatnot. And not being racist, I thought Machine Gun Kelly was black. All these white people start coming out here rapping. I'm like, what the hell? Like, seriously, I did not see that coming. Anyway, they're going out there rapping, whatever, for John Cena. Saying, oh, John Cena's underdog. Of course, they're in Miami, so the crowd boos it, whatever, because Rock's the hometown guy, duh. So, whatnot. And then afterwards, of course, Cena comes out with his new shirt. That's right, guys. John Cena has a new shirt. New green shirt, whatever, yada, yada, yada. By the way, there was no Batista, no Brock Lesnar. Damn it. But anyway, afterwards, that you have Flow Rider come out there performing Good Feeling, and they also performed Wild Ones, and then which I like both those songs. And then comes out The Rock, and finally the match happens, and this was just a good match, you guys. I mean, Cena actually impressed me with this match. He really did, and Rock showed that he still has it. There really wasn't any ring rust, anything from Rock. I mean, these guys were just battling out. At one point, it looked like a brawl. I mean, like, heads were hitting each other on the freaking steel steps. I'm not joking when I'm saying that. But just a good match. There were times I thought Cena was going to win. Cena hit, 2 attitude adjustments on The Rock. And then, and then The Rock hit the rock bottom at one point. And then, I believe he hit people's elbow. I believe he did, yeah. And then Cena still kicked out of it. And then there's one point in the match. Here's the big point. Cena's getting ready to mock The Rock, doing the whole people's elbow by taking off the wristband. And then, of course, Jerry Callen was like, oh, yeah, I love it. I'm like, wow, seriously, Cena. And then, Rock catches him. Looks like Rock was playing possum actually the whole entire time. Hits him with the rock bottom. Then 1, 2, 3, your winner, the Brahma Bull, the great one, The Rock. So, it was a good match again. And I thought it was a good way to end WrestleMania. I know some people want to say, oh, I wanted Batista to come out. Oh, I wanted Brock Lesnar to come out. Guys, they're announcing the freaking main event for next year's WrestleMania on Raw. We'll see what the hell happens. But, overall, I enjoyed this WrestleMania, to me, a lot more than last year's. Last year's was kind of like, but, I thought this was a good WrestleMania. I enjoyed it. Did you guys enjoy it? I want to know. Video responses, comments down below if you want. And catch you guys later. Holy crap, 19 minutes.